Good morning to everyone. We are going to discuss about the difference between census and sample survey. The last class we have discussed about the census and sample survey in the previous concept. Just we are going to discuss the differences for 2 marks sake. Already you hope you would be knowing and gone through with the notes of census and sample survey. Census is a method of gathering the information from the each and every element of the population from the entire unit. For example, I told you the 10-year once the government of India is collecting the information which is known as census. Okay, sample survey. Sample is the method of taking the samples, the representative from samples from the population. I am identifying the samples. Yesterday I gave you out of 300 households, 30 households will be selected at random or non-random. So that sample survey is known as the out of the 300 population, the 30 households are selected. Okay, so that is sample survey. Here, a survey in which every element of the population known as census and sample refers to a group or section of people from the population from which information is to be obtained. Okay, from the entire classroom I will take only 2 samples, that is representative of girl or boy. I will gather the information or opinion of all the 70 students from the classroom. So this is the sample survey. Okay ma, and next concept is lottery method. This is more or less random sampling. What I said in yesterday class, same answer ma. Lottery method. Hope you would have studied in history also. The olden days, the people what they have done in the villages and all to select the village head or panchayat raj or so many things. So what they will do, they will write the some village popularity people or those who do the service for the village areas and those who are familiar to everyone, friendly to everyone. Their names and all will be written in a chit paper and put it in a pot, and they will ask one child to come and take one chit paper. What the name is coming in the chit paper, that person is considered as the village head of the village, isn't it? That is the lottery method. So here everyone or each and everyone in the village is getting the equal chance of getting selected. Okay ma'am. But lottery method is always better when it is not on bias. Bias means dependence on the investigator. I told you the sampling error, non-sampling error, yesterday we have discussed. Mistakes will happen when there is a difference between sample value and actual value is known as sampling error, which means when the actual value is 50 and the sample value, my class representative given some other value may be 30, the difference is 20. So the 20 is sampling error. But non-sampling error happened because of respondent side and informant side, investigator side and other side, data side. So that and all will happen ma. But lottery method they are saying it is very favorable compared to the other method when it is non-bias of investigator or respondent. Okay ma, here you see, does lottery method always give you better result? Does lottery method always give you a random sample? Yes, in a lottery method each and every unit selected at a random from the population and thereby has an equal chance of getting selected. Yes, I told you in a village what they will do, they will ask everyone to write their names in a chit paper and put it in a bowl, and a small kid will come and take a bowl and name the chit paper, and the person will consider as a head of the village. Okay, the same thing while I have here example is given ma. This is 4 mark question. Even random sampling, what you studied the example, same example only here also. The lottery method always gives a random sample if it is used in a proper manner without any bias. Bias which means dependence on anyone. If I do any mistakes or corruption in the putting in a pot, same names is repeated 10 times or 20 times if I write and keep, because I want to know, I want to see that person has a head in my village. So this will happen. So it should not happen mean it should be without bias. So here example is given, when the government wants to determine the petrol prices is justified or accepted by the people, they have to go to the particular locality and 300 households in the particular locality. They will take an opinion from 300 people also, but out of 300 they will take only 30 households opinion and they will come into the conclusion whether it is justified or accepted by the people. So is it affecting their income or it's not affecting, it is normal adjusted, like standard of living improving, income of the people improving, and prices, cost of living improving, prices of essential goods increasing. So the inflationary situation is happening now, so the people are accepting the rising petrol prices. The people are not affordable to the rising petrol prices. So this can be concluded with the help of this lottery method only, ma. So here lottery method is only better when it is non-biased. Okay, next one, census of India. What is census of India? Why we have to gather the information? See, in Indian state level and central level, we have many ministries, statistical institutions which gather the information related to many departments. It can be a population status or agriculture production, export, import, industries, education, male-female rate, literacy ratio, rural-urban population, migration. So many issues are going every day. So all the economic activities are variable. Variable, yesterday I told you, the last class we have discussed variable. It is the value which keeps changing year to year, time to time, isn't it? It keeps changing. Price is considered as variable because it keeps changing. Your marks is considered as variable because it won't be constant all the time. The first time those who score less, next time they will improve. Those who scored less, best in first time, next time they may reduce. So variable, which means the value which keeps changing. So the changes in variable, the government wants to gather the information to prepare for the future plan, or to modify the things format, or to correct the mistakes. So we need a data. Wherever the first data, collection of data chapter itself, I told you data is must for everything, for every progress, every changes. See here, who are all collecting the data? Number one organization is CSO, Central Statistical Office. Number 2, National Sample Survey Office or Organization. Number 3, Registrar General of India, RGI. And number 4, DGCIS, Directorate General of Commercial Industrial Statistics. Commercial Industrial Statistics, ma. And next one, Labor Bureau. Labor Bureau will gather the information related to the labor union and labor activities, labor standard of living and their life security, ESI, EPF, so many things they will be considered, ma. So still more organizations are there which consist to or confined to gather the information related to the economic issues. Okay, ma. Now we are going to discuss about the census of India. See, the decennial census of India. I told you the census of India, gathering the information about the population status in India 10 years once. Okay, when it was started. See, the decennial census of India has been conducted 15 times. 15 times, which means after the independence, ma. 1951 started. So 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 91, 2001, 2011. Okay, but before independence also they have started, ma. I'll tell you, the decennial census of India has been conducted 15 times as of 2011, because next census will be in 2021, ma, next year. While it has been undertaken every 10 years, beginning in 1872 under British Viceroy Lord Mayo. The first complete census was taken in 1881, which is before independence, complete enumeration. It was started in 1872, but after 72, 9 years of effort, they started a complete enumeration in 1881, before independence. Okay, so if you calculate from 1881 till 2011, it will come 15 times. Okay, va? So 1881, the first census after independence was conducted in 1951. The census officials collect the information on various aspects of populations such as size, density, sex ratio, literacy ratio, migration, rural-urban distribution, etc. The census data is interpreted and analyzed to understand the economic and social issue in India. Okay, ma, why they are gathering the information? To analyze the problem, to find the solutions. Okay, ma. So the first census was started in 1872, but which was not completely finished. So the proper manner, the complete enumeration or complete census have done before independence 1881 and after independence 1951. At present we have completed the 15 times the census, and next census will be at 2021. Okay, next one, National Sample Survey Office or Organization ma NSSO in short form we used to call NSSO. What the data they are gathering? Yes, these people are these institution also central level institution which gather the information related to population, literacy rate, income GDP, GNP, rural urban ratio, migration, employment ratio, production in agriculture, industry and export import etc. they are gathering. Now we will discuss about the NSSO ma. The National Sample Survey Directorate was set up in the country in the Ministry of Finance in 1950. Okay, after independence only the headquarters of NSSO was situated in New Delhi ma, and the directorate was subsequently transferred to the Cabinet Secretariat in 1957, and subsequently in 1970 it became a part of NSSO in the Department of Statistics under the Ministry of Planning. Since 1991, it is under the newly created Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI. Listen, these kind of details and all you don't require ma. For information sake I am giving you as per the NCERT syllabus the abbreviation of NSSO and what purpose they are, what are the information they are gathering is enough. This is to know about the NSSO I am giving you in detail. But CSO you should be knowing when it was started, before independence, started the census, and after independence. One more question they have asked. So the NSSO has 4 divisions. Number 1 is Survey Design and Research. Number 2 Field Operation Division. Number 3 Data Processing. Number 4 Economic Analysis. See here they orderly in a chronological or orderly they have given the division, which means one person will go for the gathering information which is survey. Number 2 Field Operation Division. Some people will go for the field operation, mean they will gather the information from the investigator, and data will be processed by presenting the data from raw data to finished product, finished data, which means organization, presentation in a proper manner and analysis. At last economic analysis will do. Now ma, what are the function? The National Sample Survey headed by the Director General is responsible for conducting the large scale of sample survey in diverse fields on all India basis. Primarily, data are collected through nationwide household surveys on various socio-economic subjects, annual survey of industry, ASI, etc. Okay ma. Besides these survey, NSS collects data on rural urban prices and plays a significant role in improvement of crop statistics through the supervision of the area enumeration and crop estimation surveys of the state agencies. It also maintains a frame of urban area units for use in sample survey in urban areas. Okay ma. Anyway, the NSS will gather the information related to industries, rural urban variation and the population status and literacy, export import, the national level data they will be gathering, and it will be analyzed by the one more division, and they will submit to the Finance Ministry of India. Finance Ministry of India, they will use this data for the every year budget or next 5-year plan. So many things they will be using. And at last the NSS was established by the government of India to conduct the nationwide survey on socio-economic issues. So what are the things they are doing? The data collected by NSSO and released through reports and its quarterly journals Sarvekshana. NSSO journal name is Sarvekshana. The NSSO provides periodic estimates of literacy, school enrollment, utilization of educational services, employment, unemployment, morbidity which means the people those who die because of the diseases. Okay ma. Now the due to corona death is happening, no, we can say it is the morbidity, which means because of the viral infection or the people getting spreading, because of that they get infected and they die. That is known as the ratio or the severity of the disease, that is morbidity ma, and maternity etc. The NSSO 59th round survey in 2000 3 was on land and livestock holdings, debt and investment. Okay, so 59th survey and 60th survey consists of morbidity and health care. Okay, ma, the NSS will also collect the details about industrial activity, retail prices for various goods they are used by the government for planning process. Okay, ma, the concept is closed and the collection of data entirely chapter over. Go through with the notes and the video. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask. Thank you, children. Thank you very much.